good, my friends? Welcome back to Everyday Sugar. I am Nadeska. I'm here with Akademiks and Wayno. It sounds like you both had a really good weekend. Anything you want to share with the audience?
Wayno was in zone 6. I want to know what's the latest down there, man. You got me another hat? What's up?
Oh, man. Nah, I wasn't in no zone 6, man, but shout out to everybody there. I was in the A for a little bit, just, checking out some scenery, connecting with some folks. That's all. Just taking it all in.
Bro, you can just say you're in the trenches. Like, it's all good. It's all good.
I don't go to anybody's trenches, Akademiks.
Akademiks is the only one who spends his every weekend in the trenches.
No, Akademiks is in Williamsburg. It'd be in Williamsburg talking about in the trenches.
No. Yeah, I'm telling you, I've been in some very, treacherous parts of these streets. But in reality, I went to the gun range, had to, get my aim on point, this weekend. I brought the squad out, made sure, everybody knows how to deal with weaponry. We're in very dangerous times. I'm seeing police kill unarmed black men. I'm seeing people, trying to break in people's houses. Anything can happen in this world. You got to protect yourself. I advise everybody to, take advantage of your, your Second Amendment, right, or something? Yeah, do that. But not only
that just took a very serious turn, Akademiks. Right. What?
Facts. I'm telling y'all, like.
I didn't know Ak would go to something like that's one of my hobbies. I go there about like 2-3 times a week, so I didn't know that Ak would, go.
Yeah, you don't go there 2-3 times.
I do. I definitely do. Member and everything.
How come you've never mentioned this to us before, Wayno? We've been working together for like 2 years now.
How come you never mentioned this shit?
So one of the things that I'm about to start doing is just informing people on their rights. Like, I want to start learning that so I can inform people the correct way. But, who just pops up and just says, hey, y'all, I go shoot guns like 3 times a week? Like, you don't just do. I take my son and everything. My son goes with me and all that.
Okay. Wow.
You learned something new about
Wayno. Audience, you guys. What a fun fact about Wayno.
Okay. Now, but other than that, I was just, I opened up the pool at my new crib, Let me
hey, congrats.
That's what's up, Akademiks.
It's a kiddie pool, by the way, so don't get no ideas.
See, he always gotta divert.
I can't go all the way.
Right.
But anyway, what you do?
Me, nothing. I was just chilling. Had a very lazy weekend, which I needed, Nice and boring. But my friends, let us get into the show today. So before we left last week, we talked about Megan Thee Stallion showing the photo of her gunshot wound because she was really sick of having to defend herself against the trolls. And then after the episode aired, she confirmed that Tory Lanez is the person who shot her last month. So she said she was just trying to keep the situation off the internet, but Tory is dragging it by having his publicists and other associates lying to the blogs and trying to spin the story. So she addressed some of the rumors, saying that, again, she never hit Tory. She wasn't mad about him and Kylie, and she didn't tell police what happened because there was a gun in the car and she really didn't want any more trouble. A lot of different reactions to this story, some of them very insensitive and just completely ridiculous. But now that Meg has confirmed, said outright that Tory is the one who shot her, now how do we feel?
Ak, I want to know, we've had a lot of back and forth dialogue about this. So, there's a lot of speculation. We knew that it was a situation that happened, but I really want to know, now that she says this, where do you think that puts Tory?
Well, number one, I'm glad she said it. Remember when I told you, I was like, listen, the reason why people are speculating is because she hasn't said that. And even though she's alluding to it, it gets people to look at all these other things. Was she hit that bad? Was she, people are judging bullet wounds and people are judging how she's healing and what she's doing to heal. And of course, that's going to be frustrating because she's a victim. I think she had to speak her truth. And her truth was that, listen, hey, if Tory did it, Tory did it. And I do think it puts it into focus for everyone who, love both parties to be like, yo, listen, this is a very tricky situation, but one that probably is definitely very tragic as well. You know what I mean? An artist that we like shot another artist. A male rapper shot a female rapper. That is, you would never even think that will happen. And of course, some people are still, interested in the other things surrounding even why the hell would Tory have a gun if he did, and why the hell would he shoot a gun if he did. I do think with her saying Tory shot me, if that is correct, I think all this other nonsense that was going on, just done. We don't want to hear it no more. We don't care what she was doing. We don't care what she allegedly did. We don't care what argument. We don't care who was involved. We don't care what happened at the pool party. This is something that, to be honest, And the more I look at it, this possibly could be a domestic violence situation. If these two were being involved with each other, it's a domestic violence situation.
He's facing the felony charge, right? I guess more details on that still pending. And people like T.I. have spoken out and saying now they really want to hear what Tory has to say. What could he even really say that would change anything here? And I'm wondering how, just personally, you guys are feeling about him moving forward. We're both all fans of his music, but are we now acting differently?
Well, I mean, he's not in a position to do what Meg did and go live and speak, because he would really like, I mean, it's already bad for him now, but like he can't do that. Like it would just go like all the way wrong. I think that at this point, like the DA doesn't need anything. Like they don't really need they don't need Megan to be a witness or anything, you know. And I seen so many people try to give Megan flack for saying, like, I seen some female rappers saying that she's a rat and all this. Like we're in a space in life right now where everybody, and it's always been, but it's kind of amplified now, where everybody's just calling everybody names. Like that's ridiculous to say something like that about her. We're not looking at Megan to be no gangster, be in the street. She never proclaimed to be that. And I think that it goes back to the conversation we was having. She was pressured by opening up her phone and just seeing herself be bombarded with like negative comments, and you know, because there's a lot of fans of Tory, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people was just like, you know, saying violent, crazy things to her, because the picture that she originally put up, she took down, you know, of her gunshot wounds. I think that as far as Tory, it definitely changes my perception of who he is, because we've met him, we've worked with him on the show. Seems like a cool guy, but like he made a bad decision. You know what I mean? If this is true, he made a really, really, really bad decision.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still flabbergasted, and it still seems unbelievable that it happened. You know, like even
the scenario, or just like just the scenario, or just like the whole thing happened in period.
I just can't see how, why. I'm looking at Tory as a sane individual. I just can't see how, why, like, what circumstances could lead to him having a gun and firing it. It's like beyond me. It's like, I guess that's why I think also with the public, we're still trying to make sense of it, because this is one of the most nonsensical situation I've ever heard about.
At the prime of his career as well. At the prime of his career.
I also agree with you. Meg cannot be categorized as a snitch. This is like, we have to have some type of responsibility in hip hop to understand what snitching is. And even, you know, when Freddie Gibbs jumped down on me or whatever, pause, that's what I was even trying to say, you know, like, you know, this word snitching is like almost like, it's like a black cloud that we throw on anything or anyone that we want to shut the fuck up or we don't like. You know what I mean? So people who may not like Meg, she's snitching. You know what I mean? Like, we have to have a real clear definition of what the shit is and what it's not. And what Meg is doing by telling her truth to say, hey, I got shot by some dude that was rolling with to a pool party. I was in a bikini. That's not snitching, right? And furthermore, it's going, and I understand why she's frustrated. I'm understanding Meg a little bit more now. I would get extremely frustrated if what she's saying is true, which you got to believe is true at this point. She was saving Tory. She didn't tell the cops that Tory shot her. If that's the story, she didn't tell the cops that. She didn't say it on social media. Right. She didn't name him. I mean, she made reference to it, but she didn't say him.
Right.
And you would have to assume she's saving him. Because, again, the police initially said, well, Meg ain't really cooperative. We need a couple more things. Yeah, we might have like a video, but we need a few more things to make this charge happen. And if Meg is feeling like, yo, hey, the story is kind of getting out of hand, and
but so the thing is, you know, to that point, is the story just getting out of hand? But she's saying that it's Tory's team who's been involved in spreading those lies. So then at that point, if he committed this crime and his team is then trying to smear her name, then can we assume that he doesn't even have any remorse in this situation?
Well, let me just one thing real quick, because it doesn't take nobody but even a fucking idiot would be able to tell that there's a PR team or some type of spin trying to happen, okay? When you see 8-9 blogs post the same exact thing, when you see certain wording, when you see certain personalities say certain, like, again, and I'm guessing Megan, you know, of course she has her team as well, but she's smart. She could probably be like, oh, okay, they're trying to switch the narrative. And I think she was trying to abstain from that, from really saying what she said. And then she easily saw it. Like it doesn't take anything but someone with two eyes to say, oh, y'all are putting stuff out. We just seen articles go out. We just see blogs are putting this up. So again, I understand why Meg even reacted the way she did as well. And
yeah, I'm just like, I'm just so, I don't want to say confused, because all right, now it's like, okay, everybody got what they asked for, right? Like everybody got what they asked for. I'm just like, what's gonna happen now? You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest thing now. Is like, where does this go from here? You know, I don't think that Megan was trying to win anybody over. I think she was just telling her truth, and she's a civilian, so I don't think her to, you know, I don't think anything negative of that. But I'm just curious to see where things are gonna go from here, because with this being Tory, like, he's actually in he was in the best spot of his career he could possibly been in, with building Quarantine Radio, about to do all these new content, all these different ideas. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. And so to you guys, your point of hip-hop having some responsibility here, and this is a question for you. You run one of the biggest media platforms in rap. If Tory is convicted of this crime, because we're believing what Meg said, you know, are you still posting his music if he continues to drop music? Like, how are we as a community reacting to this?
That's a very good question. You know, I think that question goes hand in hand with, again, we're assuming that what Meg said is the truth. We have to believe her, at least at this point. And by the way, we're operating in the court of public opinion. The truth will play out in actual court. But yeah, if he is convicted, I think everyone has to collectively and also individually, everyone has to make a choice of, are you gonna fuck with Tory still, or are you gonna support his music? Is this something that's redeemable? Where if he shows that this was a mistake, again, let's just say he says, hey, listen, it was a bad judgment, a very bad mistake, couple of unfortunate events that led to that, even though that sounds wild already, but I'm not that person. I want to show that I'm different. I'm going to show you how remorseful I am. Maybe he could win back some people later on, right? Maybe this is very.
I think it's too early to even go there right now.
No, I know. Well, no, but honestly, you got to realize that he's guilty already in the court of public opinion. Like, nobody want to hear nothing more. Right. He's at sentencing. He's at sentencing in the court of public opinion. His real trial ain't start, but he's already at sentencing, right? Because there's no other detail that could come around that could help him out at all. If that's true, it's done, right? I think with him and how hip hop treats it, you know, I look at Chris Brown, I look at other people. I think you're gonna definitely get a shunning on a very mainstream public level. But I do think in certain areas where like his audience and his music still, you know, kind of hits a real niche audience, he'll still be good. He'll still get some love there.
I mean, I think before we get to any music, we gotta see if he's gonna be in prison. You know what I mean? Like that's the reality of it. I mean, you also gotta account deported, that. Right? Yeah, deported. I mean, look at what happened with Sean. Sean had to spend 10 years in prison here, and then on his day that he gets out, they sent him back to Belize, and he can never enter the U.S. again. You know, so I don't know.
Let me ask you this, because I think that's what Nadeska was asking me, and I think it's such a tough question. But I want to ask you, because it's hard to give a definitive answer. Let's take this off Meg. Let's take this off Tory. A rap star or a rapper gets convicted of shooting a female rapper, or a female R&B singer, or any female artist. Do we not fuck with that? Like, what is the consequences socially you think that should be appropriate? Of course, we see artists taking them off the songs. Yeah. Like, nobody wants to be on a song with Tory if you already have a brand, especially if you're a female right now.
Right.
Socially, within the industry, what does that mean? Are you bringing Tory on tour?
No, listen, bro. Listen, right now, as of right now, unfortunately, people got to step aside from him. You know, because it's not a good look to be associated. Like, Kalani taking him off the song, they friends and all that, but think about if she keeps him on a song. If she keeps him on a song, then that's basically you, in the court of public opinion, you saying that you support him regardless. And more now people are factoring in their relationships or friendships with him because they can't stand next to him because it's a bad look for them. Now, me personally, like this scenario happens 100 times, bro. There's no room for no domestic violence, against women and men and vice versa. But we're not dealing with that situation. We're dealing with an artist shooting another artist, and it's a man shooting a woman. That she got shot in her foot. She could have died. You know what I'm saying? Like, people get hit all types of parts of their body and pass away. Now, we could be having different conversations now. I think for right now, I'm not worried about his music. I'm just like, yo, hey, well, I just got to watch and be a spectator and see how this thing plays out. I'm more like, hey, before music, he needs to be worried about his freedom. That's what's most important right now. And, that's not for me to judge. And ultimately, that's going to play out in court. But I'd step away from like all of that artistry shit. I don't give a fuck about that right now.
I think he's having his next appearance in court in October, mid-October. I think his number one is freedom and his permanent visa, whatever immigrants use to stay over here. Those are definitely in jeopardy. But I do think his career is in limbo. He can't talk because if he talks, he's probably gonna fuck up his case. Right? Any statement is going to fuck up the case for him. Right? I don't know if there's a way you could show, if this is true, you could show some remorse or you could have some type of reaction without making a statement. But at this point, T.I. made a point when he said, yo, you kind of got to do something.
But what?
Maybe
what effect would it? I guess the question is, how do you really defend this? We're all watching, especially me as a woman. I'm like, is this normal? Someone could shoot me in the foot, and you guys would be like, oh, that's terrible. But let's just carry on like nothing, happened. I'm wondering what he could possibly say that would change anything at this point.
Nothing.
Well, think about this, right? Think about this. What I tell you, what he should not be doing is this. You have seen on the Shade Room. I guess they posted something where a guy, I guess, was defended. I don't know if it was defending, but it was like basically saying, yo, Meg, it's your own fault. How the hell you going to date a guy or be with a guy or be around a guy that coined the term demon time and be with him on demon hours and I expect some dumb shit to happen. Like, you got to make better choices. And he liked the post. So they reposted that. That's what he cannot be doing. Now, I don't know if that is in line and congruent with his actual feelings about the situation, but you can't be doing anything that makes it seem like you, even if you did this, you don't give a fuck.
Yo.
Or you're blaming the victim.
My biggest problem with all of this is social media is damn near like a social security number now. It's like people don't know how to get away from it. It's like I mean, you want to watch things and enjoy things, but it's like, brother, I didn't know that he liked that post.
And to be all fairness to Tory, I do think he probably liked it by mistake. I'm hoping. I'm trying to, we know Tory.
What are the
Tory,
odds?
like everything I'm hearing.
We know him as an artist. We don't know him. Like you know what I mean? Like we know him as an artist. We don't know him. So all I'm saying is like that phone get more people in trouble. Like it's just that simple. The little press of a tap on your phone can get you in a whole lot of trouble. So it's like, man, I just don't understand the times that we're in where people feel so obligated that they have to be on it, and that speaks volumes with him liking that post. So, I mean, it ain't my fight to fight. It's his. So, whatever.
Well, let me ask. Wait, just one more question.
Go ahead, your final thoughts.
Come on, because we gotta move on.
No, just because I'm thinking about the severity and possibly just after effects of, I don't think the industry is waiting for this criminal case to figure out what they're going to do. Do you see for the foreseeable future any rappers who may have had songs coming out with him still putting them out? Anybody working with him? Do you see almost, I don't know if a media blackball, but definitely maybe an industry and artist blackball?
Akademiks. 2020 has showed me that there are no rules or morals or ethics when it comes to any fucking thing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Anything.
Mm-hmm. That's a question for you to ponder, Ak. I think, again, you're in a very influential position in media. I'm curious to see how you handle this moving forward.
I'm doing whatever Apple Music do.
You'll do
I'm doing whatever Apple Music and Spotify do. if they keep him on the playlist.
Hey,
All
man,
right, you know,
gotta-
let's.
It's a collective and shared thing though. Like yo,
It's a collective, but individual humans, and you're not Apple Music or Spotify. You're not a corporation, but you are your own business, which gives you a lot of freedom to make decisions here. You know, but you think about that. I'm sure we'll talk a bit more about this story. Let us talk about some music before we wrap this episode. So we did get a new project from Nas last week. His 13th album, King's Disease. Guest appearances on this one from people like Charlie Wilson, Big Sean, Lil Durk, A$AP Ferg, Foxy Brown, and more. Follow up to his 2018 album, Nazir. So the first song we heard from this project was Ultra Black, which sounds like there's more context to this song when you listen to the whole project. What do you guys think about this, Wayno?
Oh man, so no, like yo, nah, honestly, I'm really excited about this because Nas, he gets so much like flack for picking beats. It's like everybody knows that he's arguably the greatest, if not the greatest lyricist to ever walk this earth. But people always like, man, he should let Rick Ross pick his beats, or he should let this person pick his beats, or that person executive produce his album. And then with the Kanye project, we all had an expectation for that shit that fell a bit short. Now, what's the most surprising thing about this album to me is as great as I know Hit Boy is, I did not know that he could do this. I did not know that Hit Boy could bring some shit out of Nas that we all been waiting for. And like I watched, you know, people make these speculations about seeing the track list and saying that, like, it's not gonna be this or that and the third. For Nas to have Lil Durk, who this is another conversation, but I'm considering Durk for MVP of this year. I'm definitely considering Durk for MVP of this year. He's on Drake's single, his album did well, he's on Nas' album. But to have Durk on there, Don Toliver, Big Sean, fucking Anderson .Paak, and then it's just Nas today. It's perfect for me because it's Nas today. It's not Nas making like this mature-esque level of music that, you know, he's on some other shit. He's rapping like Nas, but just using a little bit of today's sound and the old sound mixed and matched together. I fucking love this album. I ain't gonna lie. I love this album. Especially seeing the Firm on the record and then Dr. Dre throwing a verse at the end. Like, I love this album.
I thought Nas did a great job on this album. But yo, look at Wayno's face, man. He is.
I'm waiting for it.
Yo, I love Nas. You know I love Nas. So
that's a fact.
There's no criticism coming over here. You know, Nas already appointed me as a young legend. So come on, you know, I tread lightly.
I forgot about that. He did, sure did.
Hey, no. Well, in reality though, I think I'm gonna tell you why this album is great. And by the way, which record I really fuck with? Is it the
Blue Benz?
Fire. Hey, let me tell you this. Nas did a real great job of not practicing musical elitism while still being and remaining like super pro-black in like his thoughts and like, you know, the content he was delivering, not making it boring, still including like the younger artists and also updating the sound. And you get to realize he's still like lyrically sharp in terms of delivering like whether it's punchlines or just delivering bars. Like, I thought this was probably, if we're looking for an updated version of Nas, not Nas trying to just make like a, you know, not compared to another J album, but like a 444, I think this was a very updated contemporary Nas. And I think if Nas is putting out music like this and he's in this mind state where he's working with a Durk, he's working with a Fabio Foreign, I would love to hear a lot more Nas albums or projects or hear Nas just do more music, period. So I actually really enjoy it.
I feel like this is the album since Life is Good that everybody's been waiting for. Yeah. It's like Life is Good was so good, but then it was like, yo, he got to give us another one. It's just crazy how for him to be at his age, and like I was watching an interview that he did with like High 97, and he said that he's like really been in this for 30 years because he put out his first record with Large Professor in 1990. For him to be this good, this long is like insane. It's
Life
insane.
is Good is the one with Daughters. Right?
Yeah, with Daughters on it, yeah.
Yeah, very powerful album. I like the album too. Yeah, no, I think Nas bodied this shit. I think Nas bodied this shit. And you know what I mean? I seen Jay try to sneak his way in and steal my man Shine. Jay, let my man Nas shine, man. Let him shine. But I'm gonna be very honest. Like, I hope it gets the looks not only from like, you know, his audience, which still are here, but I hope it gets the respect in hip hop. You know, absolutely. I feel like a lot of, you know, legends, they come through and they give their their contribution, whether it's M or other people, and they drop albums sparingly, and they really get, if it's good, people really respect it and really like it stops the culture for a second. I'm hoping Nas gets the same respect because Nas is the top 5 facts.
This
one
is a little different.
Yeah, it definitely seems very well received. Shout out to Hit Boy, man. I don't think he gets enough credit for the catalog that he has either.
He just moved up producers. He moved up in a whole nother space for me. I ain't gonna lie. Like he moved up into a whole new space for me.
He's an MVP for what he did on this project. But I will also say in terms of what you said about Durk, I got him locked for most improved player. You know what I mean?
Most improved player.
Yeah, he was a guy who some people had on the bench, but now he shows you, listen, man, I could be a superstar. You know what I mean? Or I could be a great two-man superstar type of thing. You know what I mean?
So next week, should we do MVP and most improved, or do we already know who your MVP is? Will you surprise us, Akademiks?
I don't know who my MVP is, but I feel
MVP
like
little baby. Stop it, boy.
No. Well, yeah, MVP, but Durk is in the running. The thing about most improved is that Durk been most improved for a little minute now. Like he's been on the little run for a minute now. So I'm putting him in an MVP conversation only because now he's getting like, dog. When 2020 started, I did not see him being on Drake's single and being on a Nas album and having a really good album himself. Not saying that he was gonna make one, but the reception has gotten.
Over the last 2.5 years, Durk is like the trajectory in terms of how he really, you know, he shook off all that Def Jam shit and really just he just started dominating. I mean, like, first of all, he got the streets and he got the girls. And then from there, he just kind of kept building. He kept giving great projects. This last record he just put out, last project, the Just Cause You Waited Too, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm telling you, like, his music is loved by all the street niggas and all the chicks. You know what I mean? You can't lose right there. I actually feel like, listen, it's not by, Drake don't tap nobody by, like, randomness. You know what I mean? He's seen what Durk was building. Like, this was a slow build happening. So, congratulations to Durk. I've always said ever since around, like, 2015, 2016, like, he took over the throne in terms of the drill rappers who were transitioning into other parts and points in their career, other parts of hip hop. So super proud of him.
Okay, I'm glad overall that you guys really like this project. And before we go, want to say thank you to all of our subscribers. So the Complex YouTube channel has officially hit 5 million subscribers. Okay. We appreciate you guys. Keep subscribing.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be a part. Hopefully I get a little like percentage of me contributing to that. So I'm happy.
I'm gonna send you a plaque.
Wayno, you definitely get shit. Trust me, I've been here for a minute. No. Also, I do have to say, like, watching Complex just as a whole, even their YouTube channels grow. I remember when we were just on the news channel and we saw that went from 1 million to 2 million. I've seen this channel, grow exponentially, and of course it's not only because we're on here. You got to salute to, of course, Sneaker Shopping. You got to salute to
Full Size Run,
anything that's within the company, because I do believe all of these things help visibility of other things. So Hot Ones, my man Tony, who be holding down Life at Complex,
my man all the Speedy. Other shows. Shout out my brother Speedy.
Of course. But so I'm incredibly proud of everybody here, and seeing that 5 million mark, it shows you that, listen, it's still a collective effort. You feel me? So I'm proud to have done my part.
10 million by this time next year. Big goals. Let's see. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys
My only final thought is I just want to give a shout out to Luka Doncic. That's all. I want to give a shout out to Luka Doncic. He's amazing right now. I just gotta say that.
What's wrong with this guy, man?
Did you watch the game yesterday?
I don't got cable.
I don't got cable. All right, you guys. Thank you for checking out the show. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you here tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.